We love, Jerry. Welcome to the Midnight Hour Radio Show. You know what I'm saying? We might have to talk a little loud because we on this little recorder, but sitting here with Motown legend Jerry Bell, and we definitely excited. We sitting here with Myron Grace, Big Motor Boss, Rocky Thunder, and Jerry Bell.
Jerry Bell, the man.
So, Jerry, just tell us a little bit about how your career started, man. You done work with some of everybody, so the people out there, 600,000 people we talk to every week.
Okay.
So, in 6 countries, so let us know what's going on.
Okay. Well, my career started actually from my family. My family has a very big name. We were responsible for starting the Sounds of Philadelphia. We had a company called Gamble, Huff, and Bell.
Oh, wow. So that was you part of that whole dynasty there. Okay, I got that.
It was Philly International Record Company. Kenny Gamble, Leon Huff, and Tom Bell. And Tommy Bell is my second cousin. Robert Cool Bell is my first cousin from Cool in the Gang. And then Archie Bell is my brother, is my oldest brother.
So Gamble and Bell did a lot for Patti LaBelle, right?
Yeah.
I know. That's how I know about them, from Patti LaBelle.
Yeah. Well, we did quite a few things, and then my writing partners was McFadden and Whitehead and Victor Costall.
And they used to work a lot with Gerald Levert, right?
Yeah. McFadden and Whitehead wrote Backstabbers, For the Love of Money, for those days. They wrote 992 Arguments.
Right.
Tons of stuff like that, you know. And then we did a lot of stuff on Teddy Pendergrass, on Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, the Delphonics. We did stuff on the Stylistics, the Spinners.
Philly sound is in the house.
Yeah, man. We did the Destiny album on the Jacksons.
Oh, wow. Now, that was a good one.
Absolutely.
That was one of their last tours, right?
Yeah.
One of their last tours.
That was a Gamble and Huff project, so McFadden and Whitehead were the main writers on that, along with Bunny Siegler.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I remember Bunny. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, I was asking you a question about what was it like to work with Marvin Gaye?
Marvin was cool, man. He first of all, when I came to California, I was in a group called New Birth. And the New Birth, for those who don't know who New Birth is, we had quite a few hits out. The first record we had out was called I Can Understand It.
Okay.
Which was a Bobby Womack.
That's right.
Oh, no, that's another Cleveland connection right there.
Yeah.
Bobby Womack.
That's right.
And the second album that we came out with was called Been Such a Long Time.
No, I remember that song.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah. Been a long time. Yeah, I remember that song. I'm too old now. I don't like being that old.
That was
45, but
if you don't know that, you don't know.
Right. Been Such a Long Time was the title of the album, which was also the title single, and then Wildflower came behind that, and then right after Wildflower, Dream Merchant.
Oh, my
Well, I remember all them songs, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to give them an opportunity to dip in a little bit here.
Well, I mean, you know, to me, it's pretty much like that Philly sound that you just brought out with that Cleveland connection that we talking about. And then now I see why you're a legend.
Yeah. And
it's not ironic, but then again it is.
Right.
And I can see how you and Marvin connected. Y'all got
and let me give you the Marvin situation. You know, like I said, when I came to LA, I was a part of the New Birth, and some of the guys in New Birth were already tied into a gentleman. We were tied into a gentleman by the name of Harvey Fuqua.
I know. I've actually talked to Harvey on the phone before.
Right. Well, Harvey, Marvin, and Barry Gordy had a group called Harvey and the Moonglows.
Right.
It was a Barry Gordy group that he put together. Harvey Fuqua actually merged New Birth because we were two groups in one. Had one group we were called the Nightlighters, which was the band, and New Birth were the singers.
Okay.
So he put us all together. We had the Nightlighters. We had a big record out called KG. So that was the Nightlighter sound. And so we would do two shows. We would go out as the Nightlighters, then go backstage, change clothes, and come back out as New Birth. And this is where Parliament Funkadelic got their thing from, with P-Funk All-Stars, Funkadelics, Parliament Funkadelics.
Okay.
And then we all were on the road together too. But prior to that, I was already, we were already involved with Motown partially because of the Harvey Fuqua situation. So we were always at parties at Barry Gordy's house, or Marvin was having parties, and then I ended up dating Marvin's sister, whose name is Sweetie.
Now, was that the same girl? You're not Barry Gordy's daughter. No, Marvin was with Barry Gordy's daughter, right?
No, Marvin was Barry's sister.
Barry's sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was married to Anna Gordy.
Okay.
So I was dating Marvin's sister. Her name is Ziola, and that's how Marvin and I became real close. And then I used to sing backup for Marvin with his brother Frankie.
Now, Ziola was here this weekend with this R&B thing, right? I heard about it. I wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my connection with Marvin. Marvin was he was a gentleman. Marvin was the kind of cat that whatever music you heard of him was the mood that he was in. If he was in a sexual mood, then he was
sexual healing.
You know,
right.
He would write, "Come get to this," things of that nature. If he was political, then you would hear Inner City Blues, something of that nature. What's going on? Okay. You know, if he felt pain, and he talked about pain. If you look at the album after his divorce with Anna Gordy, he wrote an album called "Hear My Dear."
Yeah, I heard that whole.
Yeah, that whole album spoke about the relationship that they had. You know.
Right, I heard one of the songs before.
Which one?
I would just remember it was an upbeat song.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So I got a chance to gel with Marvin on a large scale, and then plus we would rehearse. If we were rehearsing vocals, we would rehearse at his house. Okay. And I got to see Marvin from the beginning write Trouble Man on an untuned piano. I would see how he would do it. How I learned how to do my own background vocals was watching him. You know. So
you are tearing the roof down.
So what was Barry Gordy like, man? Like I got a connection with them through a guy named Jerome Sutton in Indiana. But I don't know these guys for real. I talked to like Harvey Fuqua, but I don't know them for real. What was it like working with Barry Gordy? I mean, in the beginning.
Being around Barry was a kind of standoffish kind of cat, unless he really got to know you.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, one that he kept that was very close with him was Michael, of course. Yeah. But everybody else was kind of, except for the Supremes, and then the Temptations, and then plus Marvin being in a part of the family, that was another situation. But outside of that, he was kind of, hey, how you doing? And good record. I'll see you soon. We'll see you at one of the award shows or something of that nature. He was like, yeah, kept it going. Okay. But he was that kind of cat. He was very big business-like minded.
Right. I get that. So, Rocky Thunder, you got any questions?
Sure. Not only are you a legend yourself, but you've also worked with like a lot of other legends. How do you maintain that humbleness? I guess how do you keep your head on straight with everything that's going on?
Because my brothers would beat my ass.
Well, that's always good. That'll keep you humble. That'll definitely keep you humble. That's what they got me humble.
Keep you in the corner.
Yeah, man. My brothers, my family, we were very disciplined people. I'm 63 years old. Never had a drink in my life, never smoked, never took a drug.
Is that right?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's good money.
So it was all about the music.
Right. Okay.
Everything was about the music and about discipline, about remembering your choreography, your steps, your this, your that, and how you conduct yourself, how you present yourself in the public. Right. And one of the main factors is how you keep your family name.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that mind boggles me about the youth today, is that the way that they conduct themselves, they don't care about their ancestors.
Apparently not.
Their mothers and fathers, their grandparents. You know what I mean? Their great-grandparents, their great-great-great-grandparents, their own children. You know, they conduct themselves in a way that is just so wicked. They give energy to the powers that be to continue to destroy us.
Right, I completely. I mean, no disrespect against none of Cash Money. Without saying names, I understand what you're saying. Like they messing with they all these rumors about these people messing with these transsexuals.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, you know, this is the thing. When you say no disrespect to them, there is no disrespect. It's disrespect to themselves.
Right.
Because whatever they take on that is not of a natural spirit or spiritual facet, it is an unspiritual facet. So it is disrespectful to not only to your own soul, but to your community.
Right.
To the name of your family.
Right.
Because one of the things my father used to tell me, son, you only have two things. And without those two things, you ain't worth a damn. Your name and your word.
That's right.
That's all you got. And
Right.
so this is how we grew up. You know, when you say something, you give your word is your bond.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And you follow that, even if it's to your death. You follow your word to your bond.
That's right.
Right.
When you make a bond to someone else and you become a friend, or you become you're that, you know.
Right.
And, you know, both of we from Philly,
Right.
So you know Philadelphia. It's like, you know, either you like or you not like.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you something. I'm trying to tell you something.
And that's
it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's one way or the other. There was no gray area. Okay, I think I like
Right.
it. Yeah, it was.
So what question or what would you like to tell some young musicians like Usher or anybody like that that's trying to upcome and do their thing, but they really going through a lot of stuff that ain't necessary?
Well, you know, first of all, the stuff that they're doing, that these cats are doing in the industry, is beyond me. Because I live in Hollywood. I live in California.
Right.
So in living in California, I basically know a lot of the things that are happening within the Hollywood thing, how most of these cats are getting their deals and what they're doing, what they're willing to do to get signed to a company or to get a little bit of money. And when you were talking earlier about the transgenders, you know, for me, I talk about it openly and straight out, because if we can can I be candid?
Well, man, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be candid with you. I got offered $550,000 to go to Hollywood and do a movie with Robert De Niro, but there was some attachments to it.
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I'm a man.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So be candid.
So my thing is, I don't give a damn about how anyone feels on what I say, because I'm not begging anybody to buy my records.
Right.
I don't need it. I have international acclaim. Whether they buy my records in this country or not, I travel. I speak 7 languages. I travel all over the world, so I get a chance to intertwine with fans from Japan, China, Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Vietnam, the south of France, Germany, all these different places. So America is only one little small inkling on the planet. So if they can't handle what is being said, then that's shameful.
No, I understand where you're coming from, and actually, people and parents listen to the show, so I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I don't know that's one of the reasons why I'm not rich anymore. I was one of them young rich guys like them.
Right.
I didn't never get off into that gay thing, but I get what you're saying when you say stupid things, because I spent $1 million being stupid. You know what I mean?
Right.
Luckily, God gave me the wisdom to come back down, and what beat me down wasn't my brothers, but it was my grandfather. All them switches he put on my ass when I was young. But they finally kicked in.
Right.
So the midnight hour is like a way for artists like yourself to be candid and be yourself and tell people how you really feel and connect to the audience that way.
See, my thing is this, man. I tell any male who wants to be a female, or try to be, because that's all you can do is try to be. You will never have a period.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You'll never have a period.
That's mad true.
Right.
You're gonna never have a baby.
Right.
It's out of the question. So why are you trying to be something that you were not created to be?
Right.
And for the women who want to be males, you're gonna never have a dick.
Right.
You know what I mean? You'll never piss standing up without pissing on yourself.
Right. Now, I want to go on record with saying this, Cleveland, America, Europe, that Jerry Bell been in the business with a lot of people. He know a lot. So beware that Hollywood is just like that.
I'm telling you, Hollywood is a trick. You know what I mean? When you look at television and then the things that you see on TV or you see the bling bling and all, half of that stuff is props. Right. You know what I mean? And it's to sucker you in to get you to do anything they want. You know, they have organizations like the Illuminati that are pulling in the youth and destroying them. You know what I mean? They have a plan. Look, in California and in certain areas of Arizona, they have cults. And these cults are for satanic worship.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, so what they do is they do sacrifices, human.
Yeah.
Now that's crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I understand.
Oh, brother.
I understand.
I'm telling you, and you know, as a matter of fact, don't take my word for it. Go online and pull up Professor Griff.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jerry.
Yes,
I was brought up in the luminous way.
Okay.
So I understand what you're saying. I'm backed out of that side of it.
Yeah.
Well, darkness. I ain't in the darkness. I'm in the light.
See, me myself, I was never into none of that kind of satanic and all that kind of stuff because, well, you know, first my grandmother pretty much raised me, along with my mother, into, you know, God and everything. So, you know, I'm a Christian type man, okay, and I can't get into anything that has anything to do with demonic, and if it looks demonic, I'm not going to touch it.
And they do pick you when you're young and bring you up in it. And that's how come I made so much money at a young age. By the time I was 25, I hadn't even had a job, man. I was making $12,000, $15,000 a week. You know what I mean?
And then most of these cats too, see how they get a lot of them too, is when they in jail and they'll wait good till you're getting ready to go to penitentiary and they finna hit you with 20, 30 years. So then they'll send somebody in and say, hey, you know, you can do this. We can get you, you know what I mean? But you got to come this way. Right. You got to give it up. Right. And so then a cat will look at, man, I'm getting ready to do 30 years now. So they'll go and do the opposite thing, and then they lock you down.
You know what? Can I say this? Mm-hmm. This is one thing about me. I told my little nephews and so on and so forth. I said, listen, whatever you do in life, there's always some sort of consequence. Consequence don't necessarily mean bad, okay? But it's something behind it. You have to be man or woman enough to take your lumps for whatever you choose to do in life. That's right. And me, that's what I do, and that's how I live, because I try to live by logic as much as I possibly can. Okay? So that's what I tell people, especially the youth. Especially the youth. I tell them, if you can't handle those lumps, that comes with whatever you do, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't advise you to do it, touch it.
So basically, Jerry, what you're saying is don't never sell yourself to the wicked darkness or the wicked, that's what they call it, the wicked or the darkness, just to get a record deal or a movie deal or nothing.
Look, let me tell you something, man. Technology is so unique today that you don't need a record deal. You make your own record deal.
Right, that's right.
You know what I mean? You got internet, you got YouTube, you got all different kinds of avenues to get to different places on the planet that were never touched before.
That's right.
You can do your own thing. You know what I mean? You can create your own movie. You go get with this camera, with this phone, or whatever your cell phones are. You got cameras, and you can make your own movie.
Exactly.
You don't need nobody to distribute your movie. You can learn how to do things on your. This is how we came up with.
That's right.
You know, do things on. Don't be dependent
on the man.
That's right.
On the master. Oh, I know what you're talking about is that old slave mentality where the slave master ain't gonna give you but so much, so you better learn how to do it yourself, take care of yourself, and sustain yourself.
And then the other thing too, you know, what I would say to everyone, and no offense to anybody's religious aspects, but the minute you free yourself from the Christian church, then you're a free man. You're not a slave.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, I practice the Melchizedek myself, so that's something different. You know, I told you I was brought up in the deep ways. I actually could be a billionaire now if I wanted to be, but I choose to follow the light instead of the darkness. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
And see, when our people claim their rightful Moorish selves, then we're unstoppable. then no one can trick us on anything. And I tell people, you know, it's not understanding something, because when you understand it, you're beneath it. You have to overstand it. When you overstand it, you see the whole thing. No one can play tricks on you. No one can lie to you, because you see the full light of it all, you know.
You know, the thing is, I think that people's afraid to even absorb what we're talking about now. And this man, Jerry Bell, done worked with so many of the most famous people that y'all hear on the radio, and it's unbelievable. Constantly the Temptations, the OJs, the Whispers, Michael Jackson. I mean, so he's had the opportunity to see the downfall and the rise of all of these people. So listen to him, America.
I've seen the downfall and the rise of, I've seen the beautiful rise of a lot of different entertainers. I mean, the entertainment industry is what you make of it. It's not what it makes of you. Like I tell people, you know, that money don't make the man makes the money.
Makes the money.
You know what I mean? So what you do in it, the choices that you make, the choices that you, when you step into a situation, into an arena, you know that, okay, there lions live. They're going to eat me up. So why would you go into that arena?
That makes sense.
What I mean?
Makes sense. I can put out there, you know what I mean? So it's crazy though, because you know, a lot of people, and with that said, a lot of people are so entrapped that even if you do make sense to them, they're still afraid. And see, one thing I became is not afraid of no human being on this planet, because I look at it as the same thing can happen to me can also happen to them.
That's right.
And so why should I be afraid of that? And what would be the point?
Right.
Because the thing is, I'm not afraid to leave here. And being as though you have that non-fear as well, because I see it in you and from the things that you just said.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, okay, this man did what he had to do and did it abundantly. Why wouldn't I even listen to him?
Right.
It's not that I'm worshiping him. I'm not looking at him as an idol, but at the same time, he is an idol to some degree.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what I want to ask you, Jerry, besides Marvin Gaye, who's some of the people that had the most influence on you musically, even before your father and them had put you in the business?
James Brown.
The father and soul.
He's a self-made millionaire, wasn't he?
Yeah. James Brown, Jackie Wilson, Stevie Wonder.
Right, okay.
And then plus we grew up in a neighborhood in Philly. We grew up with Delphonics. We grew up with the Blue Magic, Stylistics, Billy Paul, Major Harris, South Soul Orchestra, you know, MFSB Orchestra. I mean, we had people in our midst that.
And y'all, that was when musicians was tight then, huh?
Yeah.
In their own circle.
Yeah.
But can I ask you now with Motown and the way Berry Gordy and Marvin Gaye and Smokey, all those guys who was helping Berry Gordy lock the industry down as far as Motown is concerned, and when you come along, okay, what was it, do you think, that might have caused everything to start, where people started like fanning out into their own directions? Not everybody, but, you know, to the most part. And I'm not just talking about Motown. I'm just talking about
in general.
In general.
Well, you know, let me give you some history. There were 3 major black record labels.
Okay.
One was Philly International,
Right.
Motown,
Right.
and Stax.
Okay.
For those who don't know the Stax record, Stax had Isaac Hayes, the Tim Prees, Pop Staples, Barcades came out of Stax, Richard Pryor came from Stax, Johnny Taylor, Tyrone Davis. You remember Tyrone Davis?
Yeah, I remember Tyrone Davis.
Remember Johnny Taylor?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know of him, man.
It's cheaper to keep It's cheaper to keep
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's Johnny Taylor. So, you know what I mean? These
He
people,
just died, right?
no, Johnny Taylor's been dead for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, but these are the people who came up out of you know, these are the companies that we had. And then Motown had everybody, Temptations, Mary Wells, and the Supremes, and they even had Gladys Knight. Nick Phipps was on Motown at one time. You know, so Al Green, he came out of Stax.
Okay, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Al Green came out of Stax Records too. So when you have companies like this that are competing against the white establishments that had the rock era,
Right.
that we're not producing what we produce.
Right.
See, there's a difference in history. One is there will never be, and I have to say this, whoever is listening, you know what I mean?
A lot of people,
whatever countries, whatever. I'm gonna say this to you, and you take it for what it's worth, but go to sleep and dream on it.
Okay.
Because that's the only thing you can do is dream on it.
That's right.
But for us, it's never a dream, it's reality. No one can ever copy us to be like us. It is only one. Everything comes from this, the darker milling of the skin.
Okay.
Our rhythms, our soul. This is why everybody wants to pattern themselves after a James Brown or Earth, Wind and Fire or this person or that person or a Michael Jackson. How many people you see want to be like a Michael Jackson? Or the music that is loved by us. See, our music, because we don't control the electrical entities around the world or satellites, but we control beyond that. Because our music is our spiritual movement that causes us to lock in or to latch into souls all over the world. It's like the African drumming. There's only one rhythm like that.
Well, let me ask you this question, because I ask you these questions because you know more than just rumors.
Okay.
I heard so many stories about Berry Gordy being tied in to the Italians and that was like Motown was semi-funded by like CBS Records and all of that kind of stuff.
Can you clear that up for us, please?
Definitely. First of all, Berry Gordy was never tied in to the Italians. Neither was Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff. Neither was Stax Records. What ended up happening is because of these companies being major, anytime black people have something that's major and is making money, that makes sense, then you got people that are going to come along and say, hey, we want a piece of the action.
That's right.
No, you can't have a piece of the action.
That's right.
Okay, well, we want a piece, you're going to give us a piece of the action, or we're going to, things are going to start happening. And this is why in our era, we had cats like Bumpy Johnson that came
Charles
in.
Ellsworth, Bumpy
That's
Johnson.
right. They came in and they were given the protection that was necessary to the Berry Gordys, to the Stax Records. And then on our end in Philadelphia, we all were gangsters anyway.
See, this is why I can't look down on anybody as far as now, if you're making bad decisions because of bad decisions, that's one thing. But if you're a type of person, because, I mean, there are people who are simply just in that mode, that's who they are.
Yeah.
And, when you say gangsters or what have, some people are actually born that way. Well, I didn't believe that.
Well, when I say gangsters, it's like I didn't never belong to a gang. Right. I am a gangster if you try to take something.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I'm going to give you some gangster attitude.
But see, with you, it only comes out when necessary.
Right.
Some people, that's their life. That's who they are. Right. And what I'm saying is, we needed that other brother or sister that's in that mode to help us keep it within us.
Family.
And I understand that.
The other thing, too, that protected us was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
Protected the Gammon Hucks. We all were Muslims with the nation. And so, it's like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the same way with Martin Luther King.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, with
Malcolm X.
No. With Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Because Muhammad Ali was a big money maker. Philly International was a big money maker. So, of course, the Italians in South Philly wanted to come in, move up on it. Lucky Luciano and his gang wanted to come in on it. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, no, you ain't going to do this. This belongs to the people, the black people.
Right.
So either you step back or get step two.
Right. I understand.
You know what I mean? And see, the soldiers that we had, we weren't afraid to die. When Honorable Elijah Muhammad called on it, or Minister Malcolm called on it, you were on top of that. That's the way it is today with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Mm-hmm. Same situation. You're going to back up, or back off, or get step two, And ain't none of the brothers don't back down. We ain't afraid of you.
I understand.
The police or whoever you are.
I understand that.
Right. Yeah, I understand that.
So this is, when you have a enterprise so big, and this was the problem with Michael.
Okay.
When Mike had relinquished the nation from his protection, then that's when the Jews came in that run the industry, and they started taking over on him. And when Mike opened up and they realized that, oh, he ain't that little dumb guy we thought, he's smart.
Right.
Because Michael beat him at their own game. Michael beat him financially. He outsmarted him on everything. Michael controlled everything that belonged to him. He owned half of Sony. He owned all his own publishing, all the publishing that he wrote on the songs that were with Motown. He got them back. He owned the Beatles publishing.
I was going to say that.
He owned all Madonna's publishing. Anybody that was signed to Sony, he owned that publishing, and half of the stuff he gave it back to Barry Gordy because he called Barry his second dad.
That's what he
did. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, when they saw this stuff happening, then it became, we got to get rid of him. What did the scribes and Pharisees and Sadducees say about Jesus?
Right. Well, now that you say that, I understand why they had to get rid of him.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense at first, but now that you say that, they had to get rid of him.
So they couldn't plot. See, they're shrewd at how they work, and this is how our people got to realize what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a serpent. Serpents move, and you don't hear them, and they slide and they slither until they get to you, and that venom is very potent. You know, they couldn't outright kill Mike by just, you know, having him shot up or, you know, or some crazy stuff happening. Yeah. They had to do it to make it, and then they still wanted to character assassinate him. Well, he was a dope fiend, and he was doing drugs, and Mike wasn't doing no drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They put a man in as a doctor around him to take the fall for the demise of Michael Jackson. And most of these people are afraid to come forth and talk about the situation.
Absolutely.
I don't give a shit because
right. Well, I'm tired of it. I'm tired, so you good with me.
You know what I mean? So my thing is, I tell everybody, you know, if you want a war, I'll bring you a war.
Right.
Because I know warriors.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I do that anyway when I ain't doing.
I had the opportunity myself to chill with Betty Shabazz and Coretta Scott King at one point in my life, and they had conversations with me for hours. And I actually was trained in nonviolence, so I'm kind of like, but I'm also brought up in the white way, so I understand what you're thinking and how you're thinking. And I understand that whole Illuminati, that whole Knights of Templar, and that whole thing. I was brought up in that, so I know you're telling the truth. And America just don't understand it. And black people tend to have fear of anybody who talk about it because they don't want to believe it's true.
Well, you know, they have fear. They have fear of themselves too, because when you are given that, give me that old time religion, and you are beat down with, okay, here, you give a man a Bible and say, close your eyes and I'm gonna heal you. And then when you get the Bible in your hand, you open up your eyes and your land is gone, but you guys got a book.
Right.
You know, this is what we've been, this is what has been put on us for 552 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is our Holocaust. Nobody talks about our Holocaust. We don't even talk about our Holocaust because we're too busy trying to forgive. How you going? You can't forgive something that continues to go on. Look at the Rodney King situation. Look at the situation with the young boy that just got killed,
Trayvon Martin.
They got an open season on I can kill any black man I want.
Right, and they've been following through with it.
You know what I'm saying?
Too.
Yeah. So it stops when we say stop.
Right.
So Louis Gossett Jr. actually dedicated the rest of his life to wiping out racism with a foundation called E-Racism, trying to get him on the Midnight Hour radio show.
Right.
And so he kind of like on the same thought process as you is.
But see, the problem, no, he's on a different one. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because erasing racism will not erase itself until we, as a people, erase it.
Right.
Because racism is on us more than anybody on the planet.
Right.
It's on us.
Right.
Until you say, I'm not calling you a nigga anymore. Hey, what's up, nigga?
That's
you know,
right.
Oh, right,
it's
okay,
not that. We're not that anymore.
Right.
I'm fighting against that every day.
We're not that. I'm not, yo, dog. No, my mother didn't name me dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have a name. Excuse me. sir or Mr. or my brother.
Right. So you saying that racism stems from within the black people themselves by allowing themselves to be less than what they are.
Correct. Racism stops when we respect ourselves.
Absolutely.
When we respect each other as brothers.
Right.
You know, when we were coming up in Philly, I mean, yo, brother, what's up?
That's
you
what
know,
we did.
give each other the fist, the whole nine. You know what I mean?
That's what we did.
Came up like that from the Black Panthers, the Nation, you know, Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, Huey Newton, Fred P. Hampton. We need to research our history.
That's right.
When you research your history, not his story, but your history. When you research who you are and realize, wait a minute, I come from royal blood.
Exactly.
I come from the motherland. My ancestors were royal.
Ethiopia.
Why am I acting like a fool?
That's right.
Why am I walking around here with my pants bagging down? Why am I walking around here smoking and getting high and drinking and going to the liquor store, spending up money to give these white folks money to destroy while I sit back and I'm dying? Now I have cancer to the throat. Right. I got rectal cancer. I have cancer to the uterus. Yeah. I have kidneys. My kidneys have failed because I've been drinking so much liquor. I don't have enough water in my body to balance my kidneys.
That's right.
You know, I'm eating food that's been contaminated. Water has been contaminated. We don't even eat healthy. You know what I mean? So these are the things. Until we stop all of this, if all our people got together. And whoever else that's listening, people got together and said, you know what? It's time to put a halt. We're in the 21st, actually we're in the 23rd century.
Okay.
And the 21st parallel.
Okay.
All right?
Well, I understand that, but somebody who don't understand that wouldn't understand that.
But they need to research it.
They don't know about the Druids and the stuff that happened before time started counting.
That's right. Well, so if we were all to come together and say, you know what, Budweiser, Busch, Anheuser-Busch, Johnny Walker Reds, and all these liquor companies, we're not buying no more of that. If you shut them down for 1 week, their whole companies would collapse.
Well, see, right here, and by the way, we're on the Midnight Hour radio show talking to Jerry Bell. Listen, he's giving us a lot of information that we need as people to come back together and do what we need to do, because anybody trying to get to the level that Jerry Bell even was at or surpassed, as he said earlier, you have got to listen to this man. I'm telling you, it's deep. And he's not trying to just be deep. He's just trying to tell you where you need to be, where you need to go.
Musicians,
right?
Actresses, even some of the ones who even out there now, without saying no names, married and still representing this wicked nastiness that he's talking about.
Absolutely. And with that said, me, Big Mo DeVos, I fight against that because I was on Blog Talk Radio at one time, and I did a lot of episodes, and it had to do with trying to help us reorganize. You know, what I did, I started out with talking about the things that were at hand, things that's in front of our face first. Then we get past that, then I would go deeper and deeper and so on and so forth. Right. So what you're saying is like you're reiterating most of the things that I have said, you know, to another level, to a deeper level. Right. Okay.
Because it is that, man, because at the end of the day, look at the condition of our people. The condition of our people, not just in Cleveland.
Right.
Look outside of Cleveland. Look in California. Look in New York City and Chicago, Detroit, and the South. Most of our men are in penitentiaries are homosexual.
Right. And in Ohio, 40%.
You see what I'm saying?
And
look,
that's deep.
Most of our women, we got a ton of our women that are in the penitentiaries now too.
34% in Ohio.
I mean? So you have to look at the plan. The plan is diabolical. And hear me well. The plan is population birth growth control. How do we stop it? Okay, well, if I take the man away from the woman and the woman away from the man, there is no sexual.
The Dred Scott Chronicles simulate the black woman into white America, and in 3 generations, it won't no more black show.
Not only that, the fact is, if you don't have sex with your woman, you can't produce. Or if she say, no blood, no love, no glove, no love. So then they come up with a scare called AIDS. This is a man-made
tactic.
It's a man-made supposedly disease that they're claiming came from monkeys in Africa. Then they say it came from the Africans. Then they say it came from this and that and the other, which it never existed.
Right.
You know, this is a plot. This is a plot to stop your birthright, your birth rise. On top of that, so okay, you put on a condom, no babies, right? Right. So they're in fear of being annihilated just by sex. Right. The annihilation of the European race is happening. They are dying quicker than we are. Mm-hmm. They can't. Their milling does not allow them to extend on the planet as long as we do. They go to Africa today, into the Congo, trying to figure out how we are on the planet and how our bodies can sustain certain things on this earth that give our lives complete. Right. From rhythm and everything else. That's why they try to copy our music. They try to copy the way we dance, the way we walk, our clothes, our clothing, all of these things. I expressed to one white woman, I rode up here on a train, 3 days on the train. So, you know, I'm on my computer and reading certain things. You know, people sitting on the side of you, they get curious and, you know, they seeing what you're doing, and you don't have no conversation. All of a sudden, they start a combo with you. And so they want to get into your head. You know, white people always want to know how you think. Right. I took this woman on this deep journey. By the time we got to Colorado, she had broke down crying. She said, I used to be racist, and I used to come from a racist family. I don't know how my family could even think like this. Well, I didn't know that black people had all these things, and that you created this, and that you invented this, and that you invented that. I said, because you've been lied to all your life. I said, that you're no different as a white woman. You're no different than a black man. Right. You're actually looked at on the same level.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Malcolm X said that. I remember that. He said the only kind of free people is a white man and
a black woman.
And a black woman. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the white man will always worship that black woman, and he always wants that because he feels as though and then I try to express this to all black women. I have conversations or lectures with them, is that when a white man is with a black woman, he's not with you because he loves you. He's with you because he wants to destroy your genealogy. Your genealogy. He wants to destroy your history, wipe your history out. You know what I mean? So what he'll do is, if you take you from the black man, and he have a baby with you, he can't produce another black man. Correct. You know what I mean? It's like
because they always say that if your blood is tainted, even by a drop, you are that.
Well, you know what I mean? And again, it's like Eddie Griffin said. He said, I know how a black man, a nigga can make a albino, but he said, I don't know a white man to make a nigga I know. Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's that way, you know what I mean? There are no white people that can reproduce. They can't even reproduce themselves properly. If you look at them closely, look at their skin pigmentation. Right. It's not human. It's not human. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Then look at look at how what they do. Excuse me, is when they get with a black woman, they put their seed in her. Right. They plant that seed in order for that seed to migrate itself to grow into being exactly what they are and what they wanted, because now they mold it, because they're the man in charge and they mold it.
But they don't realize that trying to annihilate us, yes, they're doing the same to themselves in you know what I mean, at the same time.
Are you familiar with Dr. Phil Valentine?
A little bit, not much.
You should check out Dr. Phil Valentine. Go on YouTube and pull up Dr. Phil Valentine.
Okay.
Dr. Phil Valentine is a metaphysicist. Okay. Dr. Phil Valentine said, look, if the powers that be could annihilate us from the planet, they would do it if they could. But their extinction would come within a week's time. Because without any black people on the planet, they won't be able to breathe. Our pigmentation brings the air. to life.
Is that right?
Yes. Our pigmentation brings the air to life. This is why we can lay in the sun and never get, cancer to the skin.
So we are life.
Yes, indeed. And life came from us.
That's deep. Now that's deep. You are the man. I got to get it.
You know what I mean?
You are the man, brother.
So, and again, we have to research ourselves. You got to find out who you are, why you are, and what you are.
Right, you're right.
When you understand, when you understand the factors of who you are, then you will know that we came from great dynasties. We came from great...
We did. You're right.
Our bloodline is royal. We have a royal bloodline. And when you start thinking that way, then you start conducting yourself that way. When you eat that way, then you start looking that way. When you shine, when you walk, you walk like a king or a prince or a princess or a queen. Your attitude will change. You won't walk around and our women...
Your pants hanging down.
Yeah, and our women walking around half naked and wearing weaves and wigs and making the Koreans rich off of the weave shops that they come over here with, and they still disrespect you and mistreat you and take your money. Yeah. And in the neighborhoods, they set up liquor stores that for your demise while they get rich off of your death. Right. Then what they do now in California, they have a thing that's set up where if you don't claim a corpse within 2 weeks' time, they take that body
and burn it.
No, and they sell the body parts. This is a thing that's going on now, man. Body parts is worth a lot of money.
I wonder why I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So you have to know what you're dealing with. How many of our people out here, these youngsters walking around here, have insurance enough with a black insurance company that will bury them properly?
Not a lot.
You know what I mean?
And we just had a couple of people on the show that was down that line that trying to get people to hear and understand that they need life insurance.
We had George Duke on the show. He did his last radio interview.
He did his last radio interview 3 weeks before he passed.
And then the other thing too, man, is that why are people depending on doctors? Over-the-counter drugs. I haven't been to a doctor in 36 years. I don't go to doctors. I go see my Chinese herbalist.
Right.
I get acupuncture. I eat properly, brother. I train. I own about 4 or 5 karate schools.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we have an organization called Sunukis, which is was an organization by Dr. Moses Powell. Okay. Doc was one of our teachers out of New York City. Okay. And we have a big organization in Philadelphia. We have one in Detroit, Chicago. And there are some people out here in Cleveland too that have.
Ken Ferguson.
Yeah.
That was my sensei back in the day.
Yeah. Out of Dayton, Ohio. I used to live in Dayton, and I had a karate school with 2 twin brothers by the name of Melvin and Kelvin Wilder, the Wilder twins.
Not Melvin, not the ones the actors.
No.
Did they act?
I don't know if they acted, but they do real estate now.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're in Dayton.
Well, let me ask you this, Jared Bell, and again, we're on the Midnight Hour radio show.
Yes, sir.
How is it that you think music can forge? Again, let's reiterate here, America, this man done work with Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, the Whispers, the OJs, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, whoever you name. How does music forge this?
Well, it's like Kenny Gamble wrote in his song. Music is the healing force of the world. It's understood by every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's why I say I love music. That's what it does. It forges a spiritual connection to every man, woman, boy, girl, animal, and plant on the planet. It changes the structure of things, especially when it is the right type of music.
So you said that music can impact the world in a positive way as we come together, instead of all of this wearing the pants down, messing with transvestites, worshiping the devil.
Right. See, the thing, again, is the content of the song. You know what I mean? When you look at our era of music, you look at the content of the music. The songs, what they meant. they'll find it, la 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 means I love you, and you had to be in love to know.
You're right, to feel it.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Right here from your own hometown, you have the Kinsman Dance Band.
Right.
You know, look at the songs that they wrote. Look at the songs that came out of the stable of a Michael Calhoun.
Right.
You know, these people who wrote these songs. Keith Harrison, you know, who wrote the joystick and a lot of the stuff for the dance band material. So you have to really think about that. The Ohio Players.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And look at the what it did to the soul and movement. Fire.
Oh, the Pointer Sisters, right? Who was that? The Pointer Sisters?
No, brother, that's the Ohio Players.
They made something like that. Hey, I don't know. I ain't personal. I thought I heard that somebody. I thought the Pointer Sisters made something like that.
No. It's the Ohio Players, brother. And you know what I mean? When you look at groups like this and you look at Earth, Wind, and Fire, look at the
I know what you're talking about. Fire, do-dum-dum,
yeah.
do-dum-dum.
Yeah, that's
okay.
We'll try now,
So look at the material that Earth, Wind, and Fire produces.
Right. Oh, man.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we feel our feelings.
Now, I know Phil Perry practiced metaphysical stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot about that and all of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what I mean? When you're doing the type of music that we do, these are the things that come about. And sometimes music is not something that you can do in a computer. Okay. I want to make this perfectly clear for those who are listening. If you do not practice and learn how to play an instrument, then you cannot create music.
Right, I agree with that. And that's why I've never called myself a musician, because even though I can play instruments, I can't play. I'm more of a studio person. Right. So I've never called myself a musician. You know what I mean?
So what I say to those who get on the computer and they come up with these different little things that have already been, you can't reinvent the wheel. Stop calling yourself producers. Stop calling yourselves musicians, because you're not. A musician is one who plays an instrument, who can write and read and write music, who knows A flat, D flat minor, B flat sus. That's right. You know what I mean? Who can sit down and write out a chart. That is a science. No, that's a scientist musician. Because it's a science to sit down and write something. Like if I took a piece of paper and wrote out a formula and gave it to you to read, you wouldn't know it. Right. If I gave it to you and I said, this is what Isaac Hayes used to do. He said, hey, play this. And they'd be like, what? They'd be like, what? Yeah. He said, play that. He said, hum this. You know, or either if you hum a tune, you're humming something in your head, and then a person sits down with a paper and with a pen and paper, and they write those notes out and say, "That's what you just hummed." This is a musician. This is a scientifical, a scientist. Okay. At his best. Right. You know. So these are the things that we have to realize that we have in us, and music is magic. Right. You know what I mean?
You can count a few people, Jerry Bell, that's out there now that can do what you're saying. Alicia Keys, who she used to be married to, Swiss Beats can do it. Puff Daddy, believe it or not, is a real musician.
But
very few people.
But while we're on that, let me ask you something. What do you suggest for someone of your caliber, for people who may even have that talent to get to that point, but has not and has gotten frustrated of trying? What avenues? I'm gonna give them, and I'll give you a thing that Marvin Gaye said to me one time. As we were sitting around, we were talking. Marvin was playing around on the piano, and I said, "Yeah, man, well, I wanna hurry up and do some things. I wanna make this money." Okay. And he got pissed off and he hit the keys real hard. He said, "Don't ever talk to me like that." He said, "Don't ever make that statement around me." Right. And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "In this music industry, there are three things. There are 3 P's to music, to the industry itself: patience,
perseverance, and persistence.
And money don't start with a P.
That's right. He said when you lock those three things down and you get them and you do the music because you love music, not because it's a job, not because it's something that you want to make money from.
Right.
When you love it,
right,
then the accolades from that will come to
right.
you. But until that time, he said you can make all the money in the world and die tomorrow and never have created anything.
Oh, man.
That would apply to quite a few people who is musicians
Right.
Yeah.
in the music industry.
And that also would apply to people that's not in music at all, but whatever it is in life that you are into.
Because what happens is, musically, most of these people, they see TV. See, the television, the idiot box, has brought about a lot of frustration, demise, and everything else to the youth. And they see the things that are happening with so-and-so and so is here, Lil Wayne, who I'll just throw out some names that just, clicked. And they're on television, they're walking down the red carpet, and they're in Hollywood, and they got these cars and the bling-bling, but they haven't done anything. They've done nothing.
Right, right.
And they have nothing that is worth anything. Take away all the money, and they still have nothing.
Right, gotcha.
Give them all the money, and they still have nothing.
I get what you're saying.
You see what I mean?
They don't have a relationship with a higher power.
Correct.
Or they don't realize who they are for real in the world.
They don't have a relationship with their higher self.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Not even mention the fans, because they don't have a true relationship with the fans.
Correct.
But with all the musicians and singers and artists that you dealt with, they have a relationship with the fans. I'm
gonna give you one that had the most immaculate relationship with his fans on and off stage, and was the most harmonic individual that has ever walked the planet that I know, and that was Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Okay.
Michael touched everybody everywhere. If you were to go in the deepest part of the Congo, there are three names that people know. Three: Michael Jackson, Muhammad Ali, and Malcolm X.
And now Jerry Bell, baby, I'm trying to tell you something. You know what I mean? He's the man over here. I know that's right. Yeah.
Well, let's wrap this up in maybe 5 more minutes.
Okay,
We'll be at an hour.
At an hour. Okay.
Okay.
Let me talk about a couple of things.
Go ahead, Jerry.
One is, like I said, I had the opportunity to work with two of the greatest bands that I thought were the best to me. That was, the beginning was New Birth, and then, of course, the Daz Band. Mm-hmm. And I came into the history of the Daz Band during a time when I was still involved with New Birth. We were still together, and I knew the gentleman from Cleveland who had the Kinsman Grill by the name of Sonny Jones.
Right.
And we knew each other, for a very long time.
Okay.
Before my introduction around Kinsman Daz. And I was introduced to Kinsman Daz through Philip Bailey, Ralph Johnson, when they came into to California to be produced on 20th Century Records.
Okay.
And that's how I knew Michael Calhoun and some of the original members from the Kinsman Daz. Mm-hmm. There's been a situation that's been going on for a long time that needs to be put to rest. And I don't think that Cleveland has quite of an idea of what this situation is when it comes to Kinsman Daz Band, Michael Calhoun, Bobby Harris, Skip Martin, these entities.
Okay.
One is, unfortunately, the misconception that has been planted inside of Hollywood as well as everywhere else is that Bobby Harris was the founding member of the Kinsman Daz as well as the Daz Band and Bell Telephone.
Right.
Which is untrue. He was a part of the Kinsman Daz at one time and was not the best of musicians. Unfortunately,
keeping it real.
Unfortunately for himself.
All right.
And still that way. Number two, he decided that he would branch off and take several members from Cleveland, which was Kenny Pettis and Pierre DeMud from here, and to form what he called Daz Band with the Motown movement, which left out Michael Calhoun and some of the other members that were a part of this unique group.
Okay.
Greed and envy causes us to destroy beautiful and wonderful things and also people. And it puts bitter taste in the mouth of a lot of different people. There's an incident that took place here because of that unfortunate movement that Mr. Harris decided to do, was a death from one of the members in the Daz Band, which was Michael Wiley. Yes, and it was because of the distress and the misconceptions and the lies that were brought to him, and the greed that was being done with the whole taken upon on the whole band by Mr. Harris. Not only that, as the group formated itself, and I became a part of the Daz Band during the late 80s, about 86.
Okay. Now, was you a part of the original Kinsman Daz or the Daz Band that broke off?
Daz Band that broke off.
Okay.
Because, in 1986, I became a part of the Daz Band.
Okay.
But I had been in and out of it around that time. Whenever certain members were not a part of the group anymore, then I would come in and replace them vocally and this kind of thing, right?
Okay.
And my foothold hadn't gotten completely locked into the Daz Band until around 1986.
Okay.
What ended up happening was we had another member of the group. His name was Terry Stanton from Los Angeles, exquisite singer, exquisite vocalist.
Okay.
And same situation, because of the greed and the things that was going on with Mr. Harris. This member of the group was murdered because he started taking on things that, if he wasn't getting paid from singing, then he had to find other ways to feed, to feed his family. So, and the factors of being lied to. There are a lot of musicians that, if you come to Los Angeles, will tell you, if you mention Bobby Harris' name, they will say that's taboo. We will not. We'll play with anybody except for this guy, because of the stealing of money, the lying, underpaying people. He'll book a gig for $20,000-$30,000 and end up paying you $500.
Oh, that's that's sick right there. That's sick.
So, these kind of things that were taking place, and I think that the people really need to know. He would take credit on songs that he didn't write. There were a lot of things that Michael Calhoun wrote on the Kinsman Daz record, as well as Daz Band records for Motown, that Bobby Harris put his name on.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with it. But because he claimed that he was the leader of the group and that he was given permission, he said that on the day that Sonny Jones was passing, he was at the hospital at the time, and Mr. Jones gave him permission to take over the group, which was a lie. And so what he ended up doing was, with that, he came back to the band, had the band on a whole trick mentally from that point, as well as in fear of him because of whatever his size was at that time.
Well, I understand. I know. I heard about it.
So, no one has actually came forth to really speak on these situations. For me, I'm a different kind of kid.
Right, you don't care. I get that. I understand.
And I say it all the time, when anyone asks me or the situation comes up and we discuss it, I say, look, Bobby Harris know where I live at. Yeah, if you want to see me, you can come to me, or I can go to Vegas where he's at.
That's how I know him. Yeah. From my associates out there. That's all right, bro.
Yeah, So I have that, I'm that kind of a person, I have no fear. So, I wanted to get it clear so that people in Cleveland, because the musicians here know, but the fans may not know.
They
see like they're two different. There's a Daz Band, then there's a Kinsman Daz Band, and they may not know the Kinsman Daz Band is the Daz Band. Right. It is the original. You can't reinvent the wheel. So, okay, you stepped off and you gathered a couple of members in a group and you put something together, and because you did that, all right, you made a little bit of noise. You got to the Grammys and, but you got off the backs of other people that you destroyed. Right. That you hurt. That is not honorable. So it's unacceptable.
See, here I spoke on this before. And I'll say it again, it kind of hurts us as fans that buy the records and all, because when you get the love in the groups,
yes,
and then you know how fans are with the fans clubs, they want to know more about each individual, right, and about the inside, right, stories, but they don't want to hear about hurtful things like that.
Yes. Although
they do want to hear it because they want to be sure about what they're doing, who they idolizing, whose records they're buying, right, and so on and so forth. So the bottom line is, the person that really gets hurt more so are the people who buy the albums, right, and the CDs and so on and so forth. Right. And I said that before, and we still want the truth out, right? Although it's hurtful, yeah, but at least we know the truth. But now it puts a damper in your spirits, even though somebody may come out with a new album under the same name, what have you, or that's where a lot of people feel like, oh well, you know what, they're not this, they're not that.
Well, what I would say is, first of all, I mean, there are other people that are involved in the entities, in both, in Kinsman Daz Band as well as the Daz Band, right, that has been created. What I would say is the people that are in the Daz Band are far off from what has happened with one individual that has brought a taint on that name, right, and on the other people that are involved in it. I would still suggest to the fans to enjoy the music, okay, to buy it, to love it, okay, but know the truth, right, because the truth will surely set you free. It will, and it is important that you know the truth so that you can't play tricks on other people. You can't cut these individuals out because you want to take something away over here because of greed. I think that Michael Calhoun's Kinsman Daz Band, mm-hmm, has a greater legacy, okay, than a Bobby Harris's.
I would think so too.
Situation.
Yeah, I would think so.
And I think that the city of Cleveland, the people of Cleveland, should support that. Okay. They should support him 100%. He never left. He didn't branch off and go with the Bobby Harris to get the Grammys and to go stand on the soul trains and these kind of situations and deny his people. He stayed with the ones that were true. Okay. And the ones that were true are still with him. And the other thing too, the newer people that are in his group, let me tell you something, man, they super bad.
Is that right?
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother, they bad. All the musicians, as well as the three brothers or the four brothers that's on stage singing, right, they bad, man. Okay. And for me to say it, I'm real hard when it comes, especially on vocalists. But they some bad boys.
Okay. We're gonna look out for that.
Yeah. And I truly respect them. I think they're going to make a lot of noise. I'm behind whatever 100% or whatever they're doing. Okay. And I'm working on some things right now with some international promoters and doing some concerts in China and different places like this.
Okay. That's cool, man. That's cool. That's good money right there. Yeah, man.
Any question you want to ask?
Wrap it up, Mrs. Rocky Thunder, on the Midnight Hour Radio Show, once again with Jerry Bell, Motown legend Jerry Bell, or just legend Jerry Bell. I'll take the Berry Gordy part away real quick.
Well, can you tell us about the song Catch Up on Love? Like, who originally wrote that song? Want everybody to know the truth.
Yeah, you see, I like I said, it goes all the way back to the Michael Calhouns and there was one other gentleman out of the group that did a lot of the writing too. Correct my.
Not sure.
It was Mike and the trombone player.
Ed Myers.
Ed Myers III. We had him on the show the other day. He definitely wanted to know he was the horn arranger.
Yeah. Ed did all the arrangements on all the stuff. Even when when the group got with Earth, Wind and Fire, and Earth, Wind and Fire was was producing the group, a lot of people thought that Bobby Harris and Maurice had something to do with the horn arrangements for the Kinsman Dads, and it wasn't. It was Ed. As a matter of fact, Ed Meyer's horn arrangements were so dynamic that Maurice wanted to steal some of the stuff that he was doing, you know. So and Maurice wanted he really gave him great accolades on his horn arrangements. He's a bad boy.
So you got your props there, Ed.
Yeah, I truly, personally, I just truly miss the musicians as much as a lot of the true.
I said we all studio engineers. I said I did it.
And then let me say this too. You know, I had an opportunity to work with Kenny Pettis and Pierre DeMud, Keith Harrison, and Eric Freeman, who were the parts of the Daz band that I was in. And I mean, we had a blast. You know what I mean? I think that behind some of the stuff that was going on, based on the Harris situation, caused a little bit of distinction inside of what we were working with. But for the foremost of it, I respect the guys. You know what I mean? They were able. I mean, Kenny could sing. You know, he can't out-sing everybody, but he could sing, and he has to have that respect for other people who step into whatever arenas. I worked with Skip three times on a couple of occasions, and we did a record together with the Harris situation. And the only problem that Skip had was the arrogance, you know, because he wanted to be the Skip Martin show, and it don't work like that.
Right. I understand.
You know, not taking away from his ability to do what he's done or what he can do, but you know, we all have to have that respect. You know what I mean? Every man, every individual should be respected for the things that they do inside of this industry.
Absolutely.
You know, and no one is greater than the next.
That's what I said, because the Kinsman Dance Band, the word is band.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not soloist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then so I respect
Kinsman is based on kinfolk.
Okay.
You know, so we all look at each other as kinfolk. You know. So this is the situation. You know. So I wanted to make that clear. Even with Mike, Riley, Wiley, and Ike, they were also a part of the unit that I had an opportunity of working with. Unfortunately, the last time that I even saw Ike and Mike was we did an album called Wild and Free, which was on Geffen Records, and we did a music video to go along with that.
Geffen, good friends of mine, kind of, sort of.
And I that was the last time I got a chance to see Ike, and then his demise came shortly after that, which really affected me, because we were a unit. You know, this is a family situation. Okay. And under the circumstances that it came under, it was really upsetting to me. Two is the most civil individual and a gentleman to the T was Pierre DeMud. Pierre was a very unique individual, you know, and a very good human being, you know. So I just wanted to get these things out so that, you know, everybody will know the factors. Okay. You know what I mean?
That's very well. Appreciate it.
And I'm only doing it. I'm going at the lighter version because it's deeper, but I'm just going at the lighter version so that people will have a clarity of, you know, what is surrounding the situation. Because I know that of course, the fans may be hurt, but the families that have suffered the most in this are the Wiley family and the Stanton family, and we cannot avoid that. It has to be spoken. The truth has to be set for them to be at rest, because it's been many years that no one has stepped to the plate and said this and this and this went down, and this is why it went down. And the individual Harris has to be accountable for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And it's tied to Vegas.
Right. And if this is going to help bring, you know, some ease to those families, mad respect. Yeah. That's mad respect.
Yeah, like I said, you know what I mean, he has to be responsible. I would suggest also that until he comes to the realization of giving some kind of peace to the families themselves, especially coming into Cleveland, that his unit of Dad's band should not be accepted.
Well, Bobby, I'm going to give you a chance to reach out. That's what I call him, Bobby. Reach out to us and tell your side, only because that's just the way we is fair here. But I know what you're saying, Bobby. If this is not how you feel, reach out to us, the Midnight Hour Radio Show.
Right.
Tell the truth, though.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
We're about real, and real is truth. So if you want to come on down and tell your side, we're willing to listen, and we'll put it out there, and then everybody can judge for themselves. And you know what I would suggest, in order to get the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help him God. I know what you're gonna say.
Go ahead.
I would suggest that you have Mike Calhoun, you have Pierre DeMud, you have Kenny Pettis, and you have Eric Freeman and Ed Myers in the same room when that comes down.
With some security.
I'm the security now. I'm civilian, brother. I'm civilian.
No, I'm just saying.
If you have them in the same room, then Bobby can't weasel himself out of this.
Right, because we don't know the truth.
Yeah, but they all know the truth, and he can't sit in front of them and lie. Now, outside of the doors where there's a shield and the other cats can't see him, and he's sitting just with you, then of course he can say whatever, and like he's done on many occasions. If you look at any of the interviews, or you look at any of the, if you go on Wikipedia and look at the certain things that he's put up on the histories of the groups, everything is based on Bobby Harris creating all of these things, and he's the founder and this and that. Put them in the room together and have everybody there sitting together.
Okay, then with that said, real quick, what do you suggest when somebody do put something like that on Wikipedia and so on and so forth, as far as like who's going to put what up? Because when the fans see that, they're sucked into, oh, okay, cool, and then it's there.
Yes.
You understand? So what would you suggest in the future when they have maybe a band or a group or something like that, and one person wants to put it up, another person wants to put it up? Of course, chances are it's going to be more than one.
Right. I would suggest the same thing. Especially if the individuals are alive to defend their aspect of what they have to say.
Right.
I think that it should be a setup where everybody's sitting in the room and nobody can lie on the other individual.
How about if they do it in the beginning when they first start this, before anything gets out of hand?
That as well.
How about that?
Yeah,
I think
as well.
so. What you think?
Ain't nothing gonna get out of hand, brother.
In the beginning, I'm talking about
when a group first comes together.
When it first comes together, they do it then when everybody's on the same vibe and there's hardly any tension and so on and so forth.
Well, I mean, you have to look at the Earth, Wind, and Fire situation. I'll give that to you as an example. With Al McKay and Johnny Graham and some of the different players that are no longer with Ralph Johnson, Philip Bailey, Verdine White aspect. They went through whatever changes they went through, but there's no war that's going on between them.
Right, I get that.
You know what I mean? They handle things like gentlemen. The same thing with New Birth. We had 15 members in our group. So when our group went separate ways, no one had any animosities to bring forth and battle and fight over and this kind of stuff. We just accepted, okay, we lasted for a certain amount of years. We no longer, can make this happen. So everybody goes in their own directions to do what they do.
Okay.
Now, if we want to come back together for a reunion or a unite, we can do that under peaceful situations, and we all can make money. But the aspect of it is, do we love the music more than we love the money?
That's correct.
Right, I get that.
You know what I mean? And that's the difference,
Right.
Well, you know what, Cleveland? I'm gonna wrap this up but I'm gonna give. This is a Motown / I'm gonna take away Very Good. I'm just trying to make you laugh. Very good. But Jerry Bell, the Midnight Hour Radio Show. Give somebody in the world some lasting words from Jerry Bell.
Lasting words?
something that they can take with them.
And that's gonna stick in their mind.
Absolutely.
Something that'll stick in their mind. Make love, not war.
Okay, that's good.
No,
Confucius.
no.
Mahatma Gandhi. A couple people said that.
Yeah, that's cool, but you know what? Whatever he's going to say, or whatever he's thinking about saying, to me, I'm going to take it anyway.
Right.
Because I mean, I don't see any lie in the man. I mean, this is a deep brother. He's been there, he's done it, he's been there and done it, went back and did it again, and so on and so forth. With all these different people, there's no way that he can come up and say, you know what, that person lied, this person true, that person lied, this person true, unless it was true.
Right, he was there.
Absolutely.
He was there, Cleveland.
Okay?
He was there, Paris. He was there, London.
He got mad history.
Whoever listening out there, he was there.
And the other thing, too, is that the Daz band from the Harris situation acquired Grammy for the song Let It Whip. The song Let It Whip was written by Andrew Chancellor and a gentleman by the name of Reggie Andrews. The lyrical portions of it was written by Kenny Pettis. A lot of people don't know that. But he didn't get his respects.
He didn't get his justice.
Yeah, on it. So I wanted to make that clear. At the same time, I also want to make clear that it doesn't matter who's gotten a Grammy, who didn't get a Grammy. What kind of man are you?
Yeah, because you know what?
At the end of the day,
that's right.
What kind of human being are you? You can hold the Statue of Liberty up, but if you're a crooked human being, then that statue doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's just a figure, or it's something that will crumble and die, whenever you do.
That's right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all the accolades in the world doesn't change the fact of what type of human being are we dealing with. And that's as important for anyone that's listening.
That really is important.
To reach inside of your soul, become a better human being, a better person to yourself, to your family, to your neighbors, and to anyone that you meet. If you don't have that, then you have nothing. You're just existing on the planet until it's time for you to die.
Right, I get that. That was words of Jerry Bell. Was extraordinary master musician, because he did so much. Got to call him a master musician.
Absolutely.
Just like George Duke, a master musician.
And then I can be anyone who want to get in contact with me. I can be reached on Facebook under Jerry Bell DAZZ at any time. I can hit me up.
Okay.
You heard that, Jerry Bell DAZZ.
Check it out.
That's what's up, America, Cleveland, Europe. We're gonna give you this whole interview on YouTube.
You can find me on YouTube as well.
We're gonna give them this whole interview.
I got a lot of music. I have a couple of albums. So actually, I'm signed to Universal. It's a Lotus Records / Bungalow Universal Music group. I'm signed to the label, and so I have quite a few things out right now. You can pick them up on YouTube. I have my single. Is the same as It's Been Such a Long Time from New Birth. I just recut it. Put a new swing to it.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, and it's on, you can get it on Amazon.com or either iTunes.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So there it is, Jerry Bell on the Midnight Hour Radio Show. Thank you, Jerry, for joining us.
I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you all.
This is going to be a long one for me to listen to. All right, Jerry, thanks, man.
You're welcome, man.
Man, we appreciate it, bro.